Gathering data from entrepreneurs for micro-enterprise loan application. Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn about the role of Vitt Sakhis in gathering data for loan application and the questionnaire for gathering data. One of the important responsibilities of Vitt Sakhis is to gather data of the entrepreneur and her enterprise for filling the bank's loan application. A data collection form called Questionnaire 2 has been developed for this. Vitt Sakhis must collect the data in this form by visiting the entrepreneur's house and business location. Vitt Sakhi may also need to meet the entrepreneur's SHG and talk to a few neighbors and suppliers to gather the data. Based on this data, the mentors will fill the loan application of the bank for individual micro-enterprise loan. There are 7 sections in the form from Section A to Section G. Section A. Section A records the personal details of the entrepreneur. In the first question, the dates of interviews with entrepreneur for filling this form have to be entered. It may take more than one meeting of Vitt Sakhi with the entrepreneur to gather all the data. Other personal details of the entrepreneur asked in this, like name, address, etc., must be filled from a valid KYC document of the entrepreneur. This will ensure that there is no mismatch between the data in the form and the KYC document. MIS code in question A2 is the NRLM's SHG member code. Fill entrepreneur's address and phone number in A3 and A4. Co-applicant in question A5 is the name of the person jointly applying for the loan, also called the co-borrower. A6 is co-applicant's relation with the main borrower. Tick on the appropriate option. In A7, fill date of birth based on any valid ID proof like Aadhaar. In A8, if social category is being marked as SC, ST or OBC, then it must be ensured that the entrepreneur has the valid document for caste verification. In A9 and A10, tick on the religion and education level. In A11, fill the number of the personal ID document which is being submitted by the entrepreneur. In most cases, it will be Aadhaar of the applicant, so fill the Aadhaar number. It must be ensured that all personal information in this section like name, address, etc. must match with the KYC documents that will be submitted by the entrepreneur. Section B. Next is Section B of the format. This section is to collect the business details. In B1, fill enterprise name as per any formal business registration document like Udyam registration. If there is no registration, then any name as given by entrepreneur to her business can be entered. In B2, tick the business's legal form. In most cases, it will be sole proprietorship business. Sole proprietorship are business managed by a single owner. There are no formal business partners or shareholders. In B3 to B6, information regarding address, phone number, email ID and ownership of business place should be filled as told by the entrepreneur and verified by Vitt Sakhi. If place is rented, then the entrepreneur should have a rent agreement. In B7, check and enter details of any registrations or licenses available of the business. If the registrations are available, then Vitt Sakhi should fill the registration or license numbers in the form and also collect the photocopies of the registrations as they can be submitted as part of the application. If any registration is not listed in the form, then Vitt Sakhi can add that registration manually in the space provided and fill the details. Whatever information in this section is not available, such as Udyam or GST registration, for that Vitt Sakhi should fill not available in the form. In B8, fill the date of start of business, either from the available registration certificate or if registration is not available, then as told by the entrepreneur. In B9, fill the sector of the business and in B10, explain in 1 or 2 lines the type of business. Do not write generic things like shop here. Readers should get an idea of the nature of business by reading this box. Example, she has a dhaba in the market, sells thali and other food items. In B11, if the proposed activity for loan is different from existing business, then write a few lines to explain the proposed business. If the proposed loan is for the existing business, then just write same as above. In B12, enter years of experience of entrepreneur in the proposed business as told by her. For filling B13, Vitt Sakhi should physically check if some business records are available. In B14, fill the working capital cycle in days. Working capital cycle is the time when a business needs money to the time until the payments are received. Mentors must check this field properly to see if Vitt Sakhi has filled this correctly or not. In B15, tick on skill certified only if the entrepreneur has some training certificate in the skill related to her business. If she has experience but no certificate, then tick self-skilled, else tick unskilled. In B16, tick if the entrepreneur is involved part-time or full-time in the business. If the entrepreneur gives 6 hours or more per day to the business, then tick full-time, else it will be part-time. In B17, fill the number of part-time and full-time workers, including unpaid family members and salaried staff. Anyone working for 6 hours or more in the business can be considered full-time worker. In B18, fill the type of buyers the entrepreneur has. Retail buyers are individuals such as in case of kirana store or beauty parlor, dhaba, etc. Business buyers are other shops or institutions. For example, wholesalers have other businesses as buyers. Section C. Next, Section C is to record data on loan details required by the entrepreneur. In C1, tick if the loan is needed for working capital or capital expenditure. Fill C2 only if loan is needed for working capital. Here, tick which type of loan facility for working capital is being applied. Example, term loan for working capital, OD or CC. In C3, fill the amount of loan needed under the appropriate head of OD, CC or term loan. In C4, mention the term for which loan is needed. This will be filled only if term loan is applied, not if CC is being applied for. In C5, tick the broad purpose of loan, and in C6, explain the loan purpose in some detail in 2 to 3 lines. In C7, fill the EMI amount as told by the entrepreneur, that she can comfortably pay. Vitt Sakhi should ask this from the entrepreneur and fill it. C8 is to be filled only if the loan is needed for capital expenditure purpose. Fill here the total project cost. Example, if the loan is needed for a machine which also needs to be transported and installed, fill here the total cost of machine, transportation cost and installation cost. In C9, fill the percentage of total project cost that entrepreneur can pay as margin money. In C10, fill the source of margin money, that is, from where will the entrepreneur bring the margin money. C11 is to be filled only if the loan is being availed for machine. Here, details of the machine are to be filled. If any item is not relevant, then Vitt Sakhi can fill NA. Section D. Next is Section D. This section is to record the financial details of the business of the entrepreneur. In D1, the average monthly sales and purchase in different periods, that is, the periods of high sales, average sales and low sales within a year have to be recorded. Example, if a business generally experiences 3 months of high sales in a year, during which it has average monthly sales of Rs 1.5 lakh per month, and the entrepreneur makes average monthly purchase of Rs 1.1 lakh during that period, then this has to be filled in high sales period and so on. Since this is the information for the entire year, the sum of the months must be 12. If some business has no seasonality and business remains smooth throughout the year, then we can fill the sale purchase data in one row only, like this. In D2, tick the approximate status sales of the business last year as compared to this year. If the sales last year were lower than this year by about 7% to 8%, then we can tick here and so on. In D3, tick the expected sales in coming years, assuming that the entrepreneur receives the loan. So, it is important to note here that this cell is trying to capture the expectation of entrepreneur in growth of sales if she receives the loan. In D4 and D4A, record any other business income and expected growth in other business income. Here, it must be noted that this is other income from business and not other household income. Other business income may include any interest on bank deposits, sale of business scrap, etc. In most cases, it will be very small amount or even nil. So Vitta Sakhis should be careful in filling this. In table D5, Vitta Sakhi has to fill data related to some key items sold and purchased by the business. On sales side, identify 3 to 4 important items contributing the most to the total revenue of the business. List those items in the first column. In the second column, fill the unit in which it is measured. Example, kilograms, quintals, number of plates, number of customers, etc. Do not fill the quantity in this column but the unit. In the next column, fill the quantity whose units were defined in the previous column. Example, for a dhaba, if the unit is thali and number of units sold in a month is 700, it means 700 thalis are sold in a month. In the next column, fill the sale price of each unit. So, in our example, if unit sale price is Rs 70, this means 700 thalis of each Rs 70 is sold. Pay attention that here we have to fill number of units sold in a month and the unit sale price. Do not multiply and fill the monthly sale amount here. On the purchase side too, the table has to be filled in a similar manner. First, identify 3 to 4 most important items that the business has to purchase. Define unit for them. Then fill the number of units purchased in a month and the cost price of each unit. Here it must be noted that for some businesses like trading, the items sold will match the items purchased. Example, in grocery store, rice, wheat, etc. But for manufacturing or service businesses, the sale and purchase items could be very different. Example, for dhaba business, while thali could be the main item sold, the most purchased items could be rice, dal, wheat, gas, etc. In D6, fill the fixed monthly expenses of the business under different heads as mentioned in the table. In D6A, fill the percentage increase expected in these fixed costs over the coming years. Generally, we can assume it to go up by 5% to 7% per annum. Mentors must cross-check this figure recorded by Vitta Sakhi. In table D7, fill the estimated current value of the fixed assets of the business. Vitta Sakhi must verify that the fixed assets being entered here actually exist. Here, only value of assets related to the business should be recorded and not the personal assets of the entrepreneur. In D8, fill the amount worth of fixed assets that entrepreneur plans to buy in next 1 year from her own sources. Do not include the fixed assets planned to be purchased from the loan amount, as it would already be captured earlier. In D9 to D12, fill the average cash and the value of inventory level that business currently holds. Here, only that cash which is available to business should be captured and not personal savings of the entrepreneur. In D13, fill how much lower or higher the level of stocks was 1 year ago compared to current level. Similarly, in D14 to D16, fill the current value of debtors, advances, and current liabilities that business generally has at any point in time. Section E. The next section in the form is Section E. This section is to gather data on the banking relationship of the entrepreneur. In E1 table, fill the bank account details that entrepreneur has. The first box is to fill saving account details of the entrepreneur that is used only for personal transactions. If the personal saving bank account is used both for personal as well as business transactions, or a separate saving account is used exclusively for business transactions, then the details should be filled in the second box. If the entrepreneur has a current account for business, then those details should be filled in the third box. In E2, fill the details of all currently running term loans of the entrepreneur from all formal sources and from the SHG. Do not fill any CC limit details in this section. It will be filled in a different table. In E3, from the above loans, fill the outstanding of the loan or loans that were taken for business purpose. In E4, fill the approximate outstanding of business loans last year. In E5 table, fill the details of any CC limit that the entrepreneur may have taken. In E6, mention approximate outstanding amount on CC limit last year. If the entrepreneur has no CC limit, then just write NA in E5 and E6 table. In E7, fill the SHG details of the entrepreneur. Here, fill the name of the SHG, NRLM's MIS code of the SHG, bank account details of the SHG, and details of members' relationship with the SHG. In filling SHG loan, saving and other details, Vitt Sakhi must verify it through entrepreneur's SHG passbook and through SHG records. Here, the highest loan amount ever taken by the entrepreneur from the SHG should also be filled. It should be noted that this loan amount may not always be in the last loan taken by the entrepreneur, but could also be in some past loan. Overdue related details must be verified with SHG records and also by talking to SHG President, Secretary and/or Treasurer. Section F. Next section is Section F, which is to record the household cash flow of the entrepreneur. In F1, fill the total number of family members and the number of earning members in the family. In F2, fill all the income sources other than the business and average monthly income from those sources. Here, income from business should not be added as it has already been recorded earlier. If income from a source is not regular, for example, from agriculture or livestock, etc., then add the annual income from the source and divide by 12 to put the average monthly income from that source. Similarly, fill the average monthly household expenses on different items in table F3. Here also, if certain expenses are not regular, then add them for a year and divide by 12 to put average monthly figure. Section G. The last section of the form is Section G, which is mainly to verify the documents and references. In G1, fill the details of the KYC documents whose photocopies have been collected. If there is anything of importance to be mentioned about these documents, then it can be filled in the comments. Otherwise, comments can be left blank. In G2, fill address details and household condition and check if the current place of residence matches with the address given in the KYC document being submitted. Vitt Sakhi should also talk to one or two neighbors of the entrepreneur and seek their opinion about the borrower. Vitt Sakhi may check from the neighbors if the entrepreneur is a responsible lady and if she is involved in the business herself. In G3, Vitt Sakhi has to fill some basic details of the business and seek opinion from one or two business neighbors, asking similar questions as discussed earlier. In G4, Vitt Sakhi can talk to one or two suppliers of the entrepreneur and fill this section. Vitt Sakhi need not physically visit the suppliers, but she can talk to them over the phone. This is the overall form. There is an additional form which is to be filled only for loans above Rs 2 lakh. This form is not needed for loans up to Rs 2 lakh. This form is to collect qualitative information for the purpose of business plan preparation for loans above Rs 2 lakh. The questions in this section are those that bankers may also ask the entrepreneur as part of their loan evaluation. So, entrepreneurs should have the clarity on these questions and should have the confidence to respond to them. Vitt Sakhi and mentors should visit entrepreneur to discuss about these questions and not just fill up this section but also prepare entrepreneur these aspects. The response of these questions should be consistent with the financial statements and the projections that will be submitted in case of loans above Rs 2 lakh. So, in this video we learned about the role of Vitt Sakhi in collecting data from entrepreneur and how data should be collected using questionnaire 2. We hope you found the video useful. Thank you.